Hi, and welcome to this 15-minute video on our program Leading Aloud, which has been designed for you specifically as leaders at J&J with your context and your concerns in mind. So what's it all about? Let's find out. So our objective as we deliver this program for you is to help you think about how you raise your competence and your confidence when you are leading aloud, when you're communicating as a leader at J&J. And this isn't about comparing you with anybody else. It's about your own bar and how you move that up a level. And so today, what I want to share with you is an overview of the program and what you'll be doing. And then we're going to talk about structuring a presentation because we want you to come with one. And then we're going to think about how you structure a meeting contribution because we want you to comment in our first session on this video and the next one on better slides. So finally, point number 4, I'll be telling you how you can get the most out of our first session in how you prepare and how you get ready for it. So before I jump into more about what the program's about, let's talk a little bit more about that preparation thing, because we're going to be asking you to do some work in between times. Now, we know that leadership development and skills in particular, and communications absolutely, they're not developed by a one and you're done. It's a journey. It's the journey of a lifetime. It's a progression. And so you get out what you put in. So if you do this pre-work and the work in between the sessions, you will get so much more out of this program, which has been developed for you. And so it would be great if you could think about what it is that you do want to get out for yourselves, because that will help ensure that you get what you need. And we would love you to participate as fully as possible. So please do let us know how we can help you. So the program, here's the overview. This is what it's going to involve. So here you are at the getting ready part, watching this video and the next one on better slides, which will be a game changer. For me, it made my slides so much better, faster, and quicker to do. So that's a pre-work, along with building your own presentation, which you're going to share in session 1. And this will be all about getting the fundamentals right and just seeing you have what you need in place. So you'll be presenting to your peers. And then the homework from that session will be looking at a document which we've pulled together for you on 10 different tools to make your meetings as efficient and effective as possible, to make those contributions that you make and to help others build their contributions in the same way. So do share the document if you think it's useful. And when you come back to session 2, we'll be asking you what it is that you did in your homework, and then we'll be thinking about impact and engagement, and specifically that will involve using rhetorical techniques, building analogies, developing vignettes, which are tiny little snapshots of moments in time of things that we all share, and finally how you tell a story and how you use them. And then what we'll be asking you to do is to tell a story for about 3 minutes, record it, and send it to your coach from session 1, who will comment and give you feedback, written feedback. So session 3, polishing your communications, this session is going to be all about how you open and close really effectively. It's going to be how you position yourself strategically, thinking about the features, advantages, and the benefits or the value of what you're doing. Then we're going to be looking at language and how Anglo-Saxon and Italian are a little bit different, and what you can do to make your communication, specifically in English, which you can also apply to Italian, how you can make it really concise, really to the point. So that's what we're going to be doing in session 3. And in session 4, what we'll ask you to do is to apply all the learnings from all the sessions and all the feedback that you have received into session 4, when you'll be redoing your presentation. And you'll be with the same coaches that you were in session 1. So they'll see the progress, as will your peers. So that's the overview of the program. Now let's move into how you structure a presentation. And I'm sure you're saying to yourself, but Jess, I've been doing this forever and ever. Why am I thinking through this again with you? Well, I've seen a lot of presentations and been coaching this skill now for the last 25 years. And I do know that our biases for action can make us jump into places and forget that other people need to be taken with us. We need to take them on that journey. So let's just go and refresh the basics. Now, when you're getting ready for a presentation, the first thing you need to think about at 11 o'clock here is, who is this audience? And it's no good going and pulling up any old decks and just ramming some slides together. If you think, who's this audience, you'll be much more targeted in what you say, and you'll be much more focused, and that will save you time and them time. And no one's ever been into a presentation and said, oh, gee, that was so short, it was terrible. So it helps you be more concise. So doing this analysis at the beginning helps you spend less time on the prep and then the delivery. So people will love you when you come out and you've really been honed in what you say. So you've thought about the audience, then you think about, what do they want to hear? Now, you can't always tell them what they want to hear. You have to tell them what they need to hear. And there's a difference between the two. And having thought about that, you move into, what do they know? Now, I watched someone the other day really lose a sales team by telling sales what sales did. Now, if sales don't know what sales needs to do, everybody's in trouble. So just think, what do they know? And then what will turn them off, or what will turn them on, because that's the piece to focus on. And then you want to, as a leader, of course, think about, how do you want them to feel? Because your job as leaders is to motivate your teams, to pull them with you, to take them on the journey that you want to go on. And so that's when you come to what you want them to do. Now, you might say to me, hey, why don't we start with what you want them to do? Well, again, it goes to the bias to action. If you do all this thinking, you'll get to the right conclusion. And you won't try and take people too quickly on a journey that you've already arrived at, but they may need some nurturing to get to. So, of course, you want to, your call to action is really important. But you get to that most efficiently and effectively by thinking through everything else in the pie chart. So once you've done your audience analysis, then you can move into your objective for the presentation. Now, I like to come up with a one-sentence objective, which is divided into two parts. So a one-sentence objective, for me, always has an action and a feeling attached to it. So, for example, I might say, for us right now, my objective right now is to help you in the next 10 minutes get to what you really need to do to structure a presentation effectively, and that you feel really motivated and energized as you go away and do that. So you can see I've put the action and the feeling in it together. And when I've done that, that helps me as I build out my presentation. So let me walk you through this slide. Now, one of the mistakes that I see leaders make is they jump into number 6 and number 7 and number 8, but in fact, they reverse engineer it. So what they do is they don't give me their most important point first. They give me their least important point, then their second most important point, and the first one comes last. So it's a method, result, conclusion structure. But I haven't been set up to begin to follow that, and I have to make that order in my own head. The most effective presentation structure does it like this. You start with your opening bang. So that is your hook for getting my attention. Then you transition between your opening hook and your objective. And you tell me what the objective is. And then you state to me the benefits and advantages of what you're proposing to me. And you give it to me in an agenda, what you're going to cover. And I would say that 4 out of 5 leaders don't bother with this. They think it's boring and dull. But actually, I'm having to follow you. And if you want me to follow and follow easily, give me an agenda so I know how to follow you. And then you can take us into your most important point. And the reason that you give us your most important point first, and you structure it in that way, is that my attention is going to be highest at the beginning of what you start to say, and it's going to reduce as you go down. So if you start to present to me all the reasons why I should do something before you tell me what it is, you're going to have lost me on that journey. So then you go into point 9. You give me a summary of all points 6, 7, and 8, and you give me your conclusion, your call to action, and your thanks. And then you wind up with your close. And you don't end up with thank you, any questions, because that's what everybody else does. So you want to differentiate. You want to show me that you're thoughtful, you're structured, you're going to leave me with a power thought, because we remember the first things you say and the last things you say. So if thank you, any questions is the last thing you say, you've lost a chance to embed something in my memory. So for example, in terms of this presentation, what I might say to you as I close is something like, and what I want you to remember is be structured, because if you're structured, I as an audience, I'll remember what you say. I'll stay with you on the journey, and I want to hear more. And that might be my close. I've given you a triple as a close. And I haven't said thank you, any questions, because thank you, any questions really means over and out, I'm done. So this is how you structure what you say. And this first part here at the top, that's generally about 3 to 5% of what you say. This, of course, is 90% of it. And then this last bit, again, it's a maximum of another 5%. But what you're doing is you're topping and you're tailing it. You're containing what you say in a structure, and you're setting it up to make it easy for me to understand and easy to remember what it is you want me to take away. So that's why we do it. So having thought about structuring a presentation, let's move into structuring a meeting contribution. And this is pretty much the same kind of thing. So here are some very typical structures when you're contributing to your meetings. So if somebody was to say to me, Jess, what are you working on? I would say, this is what I'm working on, and this is why. Or this is what I'm working on, and this is what's proving difficult. Or this is what I'm working on, and this is how it's going. Now, if anybody ever uses a because in something, they're giving you a why. So that's kind of implicit in there. But if you want to tell me this is what I'm working on, and this is why it's proving difficult, and this is how I'm tackling it, that's how I would structure my response to you. So think about that. When you use these structures, there are a few benefits. It means that you're easy to follow. It means that you're going to be concise in what you say, and you're not going to start thinking aloud. And it means that when you do this well, people want to hear more from you. So you're building your reputation that you can really lead aloud, you can contribute really effectively to a meeting. And that's, once you do that, people want to and will invite you to do more. So this is why these structures are really useful for contributing to meetings. So having thought about structuring presentations and structuring meetings contributions, let's move on to our final piece, which is how you prepare for our first session. So there are two things to do in addition to watching this video. So the first thing is to build out your presentation. So you're going to brief everyone on your challenges over the next 6 to 12 months. And we would love you to think about your call to action in that, because briefings should also always include a call to action. What do you want people to do as a result of having listened to you? Now, we can be any audience you want us to be. We could be internal, we could be external stakeholders. You decide. All you need to do is tell us when you turn up to your first session. Now, if you have a presentation that already does some of this, please feel free to reuse it. Just make sure that it's structured in the way that I've invited you to use the structure that we recommend. And remember that it's only 8 to 10 minutes, so please don't show up with 20 slides. So that's the first part. And then the second thing is to watch a 13-minute video on creating fabulous slides. And there's the link. I hope that it has as much impact for you as it did for me, because it really made my life much, much better in terms of the slides that I now prepare. So thank you for watching this video, and we're really looking forward to working with you on the 1st of July. And what am I asking you to take away? Bring an 8 to 10 minute presentation, make sure it's structured, and watch the video so that you know how to make fabulous slides.